G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the southwest side of the map, playing in the color blue as the Rus, it is Give You Anxiety. And on the north side of the map, playing as the Chinese in the color yellow, it is the one, the only, the Viper. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to bring you guys another Viper game. He's back at it again, grinding away on that ranked ladder. And you just know we got to check him out. We got to see how he's doing. We got to see what he's up to. We got to do a little bit of an inspection on his build order, all that good stuff. You guys know how I am. I just get a little giggity whenever there's a Viper game, especially when he's on the Chinese. Now, we've got an interesting opening. It is going to be an IO into Scout opening rather than Scout into IO opening. A small little difference, but obviously it can be quite big when it comes to the consequences of it. You know, it could be the difference between picking up sheep out here in the middle of the map. It could be the difference between picking up a wolf or picking up a potential deer patch as well, which Viper will be looking for. The question is whether he's going to be able to find it, though. This is an interesting little deer patch that he's got immediately next to him. Now, keep in mind, the Chinese have the access to the Tang Dynasty, which increases the line of sight of scouts by 30%, which is going to enable him to spot out that deer, subsequently identify that hunt's location. And as a result, he's going to come around and going to be able to clean this one up. If he's able to get up here, I think he should be able to. It looks like it's going to be a pretty safe little hunt. So he's going to pick up both of them. We did see GUA over on this side of the map. He's looking to pick up a couple of sheep quite aggressively. He's also got a couple of wolves in tail at the moment. Third scout out down towards the south. He actually, there we go, he turned around and grabbed it. Now, for anybody unfamiliar with GUA, well, I mean, he's a man who needs no introduction, but, well, let me introduce him for the sake of it. Me and GUA, oh my lord. So we're both from Age of Empires 3. Before Age of Empires 4 came out, obviously there was a whole bunch of communities that somewhat, I guess you could say, just kind of what's the word that I'm looking for? They all came together. That's what I'm thinking of. So you had StarCraft players, Age of Empires 2 players, Age of Empires 1, Age of Mythology, Age of Empires Online players. You had a whole bunch of different fellas who just got together and decided, you know what, we're going to play a game, and it was Age of Empires 4. So me and GUA, we're both from the same game, Age of Empires 3. We played a lot back in the day. I remember playing on the ladder up against GUA, and I reckon we must have gone up against each other like 5 times in a row, and he'd be streaming, and I'd be streaming, and I'd go watch his stream after. I'd be like, all right, let's see how I played, and you know, I'd sit there, and I'd get the popcorn out and be like, oh yeah, this is the good bit right here. Like, he thinks he's in a good spot, but no, he's not. But look, I suspect he's going to be doing pretty well today up against the Viper. Obviously, Viper doesn't need any introduction as well. An incredibly talented player. And what do we got here? We got ourselves a little bit of an interesting... I actually didn't see this, but he's got a lot of food stacked up in the bank. He's also got quite a bit of wood, so he's had to do quite a bit of walking here. 5 villagers on gold. I might have to go double check this one after the casted game's finished. He's also picked up... Hold on, double IO opening? Okay, Viper, we gotta have a chat about this. Double Imperial official opening? Oh, okay. So, why would this be suboptimal at the moment? Let's talk about that. So, we got a lovely little landmark here as the Chinese. I can't click on it. I can't show you what it is. It's called the Imperial... Third Imperial official? Viper, what are you doing, Viper? A whole bunch of villas idle at the moment. It's only showing 2 villages. Now it's come up 7. He's obviously fighting over here at the moment over the wolf. So a little bit distracted. Now has actually picked it up. What is going... Viper going for 3 Imperial officials. Okay. Viper, we might have a problem. This... Okay, so why would this be suboptimal in the current patch? So, to explain, one of the recent changes that's happened to China that Viper might not be aware of, because this is only coming in the recent couple of months, and Viper obviously hasn't been playing a lot of China, hasn't been playing a lot of Age of Empires 4. In fact, it's been quite some months since he's been, you know, playing Age of Empires 2, practicing for that. But he is back here in Age of Empires 4. So the landmark that he's about to drop down, at least that he should be dropping down, it's going to be the Barbican. So the Imperial Academy landmark actually enables you to build... Oh, Viper not having fun today. Cue the villager, Viper. Cue... Oh my lord, I'm losing it for Viper. You know, I'm such a fanboy for the Viper. Is he not queuing the villager? He didn't queue the villager until the house completed. He's in another world at the moment, isn't he? Okay, so... The Imperial Academy, which is the other landmark that the Chinese have access to in the feudal age, or going to the feudal age rather, actually unlocks the ability to build Imperial officials from that landmark. So what's happened here, in essence, is that Viper is now behind 1-2 villages. Like, yes, technically he has 2 Imperial officials, but he would have got them anyway, and he would have got them for free. Well, I don't mean for free as in he pays for them for free, but rather the town center, when it's producing Imperial officials, is not producing villagers. So you can see where the issue is. Nonetheless, we continue. We wait. We watch to see how he plays it, because look, it's these small differences really do make a big, huge difference at the top. But these guys, even though they're not, you know, this isn't your Beastie Cutie, this isn't your Marine Lord, this isn't your Muslim. Viper's obviously not 100% at the moment, so it's going to take some time. And we do have an early wheelbarrow coming through before the Song Dynasty gets reached. Looks like he's going to be teeing up for a bit of a feudal age play here. That's what that wheelbarrow says to me. GUA on the other side of the map, though. Do we have a second TC? I think we got a second TC. We got a second TC coming down. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Click, 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 and click it again, GUA. Go on, do it. I know you love to. Oof. Do it. He's only got 5 vills on wood, though. This is kind of worrying. Typically, you should have a bit more vills on wood. Is he going for a double ball play? Oh my god, we got a double ball play right now. He's going for balls on both sides of the map. 8 vills out here, by the way. Low health on these bad boys. Needs to get that TC up sooner rather than later. Oh, he loses the scout. Villager's going to be the subject of relentless attacks right now. Looking like a post on Reddit. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a post on Reddit recently with a wild boar. Speaking of wild, right there, Villagers just doing a bit of a run back. There we go. Does he go for the TC? I'll be dropping that TC right down there. Honestly, you go 3 TCs, GUA. He won't. There we go. TC finally dropped down a little bit. Not the cleanest opening. A lot of spearmen out for the Viper. I don't know where these guys came from. 3 spearmen when I wasn't looking. I bet he's got the upgrade as well. He does indeed. So Viper definitely going a little bit ham here with the spears. Loving this opening so far, despite the Imperial officials. I'll be honest, I'm not loving it. The Imperial official now going to be supervising up the mining camp, 1 on the lumber camp, 1 on the mill. So he's got supervision everywhere. Village going to be dropped down here with 3 villagers. So definitely feels like Viper missing a couple beats. Hunting Cabin now going to be going down for GUA. Obviously, he's got no idea about the scout that is just sitting out here. Viper going to be moving out and looking to be aggressive now. GUA here being very, very greedy. Why is he greedy? Because he's gone for double bore on the opening here. Take a look at those carcasses, by the way. GUA having a great time there. But second town center is up. He's got no protection over here. He's got no wooden fortress. And this is going to hurt him hugely, because now these spears are going to be coming in. They're going to force these villagers to idle or run away. And then he's just going to turn his attention to the hunting cabin, and he's going to pick that up for free. And now GUA is going to be down both berries as well as that boar that was up here a little bit earlier. So the consequence of going for that greedier route with the double boar opening is this. This is it right here. Plenty of bounty, though, up to 465. So it doesn't quite hit that 500 threshold. Villagers having to run in. So a lot of idle time with the vills here. No mining camp on this gold vein just yet. We'll check in with the Vipers. The second TC begins coming up at the 8-minute mark. Still yet to see the Song Dynasty out from him, but just remember, Song Dynasty ain't that important. You know, when it comes to these games, I'm sure a lot of people would look at this and say, this is crazy. You know, how can Viper, who, by the way, is training his 4th Imperial official from the town center, how can Viper be such a great player but still be making, you know, such elementary mistakes? Well, I want to really emphasize that these kind of mistakes are something that can be very easily ground out, and they don't really contribute a huge amount to winning the game. What contributes to winning the game are decisions. And these are the types of decisions here that Viper is very good at making. He decides, even though it's just a couple of spearmen, even though spearmen only do a little bit of an attack, 8 damage, he pushes out with them. He knows that his enemy's unprotected out here, and instead of staying in his base and saying, oh, maybe another knight comes in, I better be careful. Instead of doing that, you know what he does? He sends them out and he goes and attacks. He's aggressive. He forces his enemy, tries to look for mistakes that they can make. And now he's just got a single spearman over here, sieging this bad boy down. Survival techniques are now coming in. Also going to be looking to pick this one up. Going to be doing a little bit of a supervision over there. We're still yet to see the Imperial Academy coming down just yet. No Song Dynasty. Spearman does actually go down. So did go down to a knight over here. So the consequence of, I guess, not necessarily, I guess you could say kind of being greedy. He did move these spears back just to protect himself, give himself the double protection. But yeah, I would just say that, like, look, don't look at the Viper and think, oh my lord, like, how is he this good, but he's still making these amateur mistakes? Just think of it as, okay, well, he hasn't ground it out, but even if he didn't grind it out, you know, even at the top level, there are, I'm not kidding you, there are rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 players that I will watch play civilizations that are just doing an objectively bad build order. But the reason they're that good is because of things like their micro and things like their decision-making abilities. So I guess that's one of the things that I would want to harp on is that, yeah, look, you can make very clear, objective mistakes with things like base building, with things like build order, but at the end of the day, when you're in the heat of battle and you're able to micro a million little spears to hit every individual cavalry unit to make sure that they're doing their maximum damage instead of hitting enemy men-at-arms, those are the real differences that are going to stack up. The decision to push, the decision to make a certain unit type, the decision to go castle age or whether to stay feudal, these are the big factors. These are the things that are going to take you from being that Conqueror 3 player at 1800 points to that Conqueror 3 player at 2.1k. That's the big difference here. But we'll get back to the game now as GUA has once again resumed hunting over on the west side of the map. Obviously now picking up the boar. That's going to be his focus. Obviously the boar is going to be the #1 place to get your food from just because it does gather faster than every other food source out there. In fact, I think it does even gather faster than deep sea fish. I'm not 100% sure on that. I might have to double check my numbers, but it's, yeah, 99% sure. GUA now going to be moving into a bit of a feudal age play himself. Kind of thinking about castle, but the blacksmith is down, and the blacksmith typically is going to mean it's going to be a feudal age play. Walls coming in for GUA as well, looking to try and protect this town center on the east side of the map. Could look to put in a couple more walls across here. Not a whole lot, but horsemen coming out. Viper looking to try and get in on top of the enemy reinforcements. I say reinforcements, but to be honest, this is the enemy army at this point in time. Knight's doing a decent job of cleaning up, or at least, you know, trading out some horsemen there. Did lose a lot of archers, and losing those archers means that you stall out the push. So very smart move there from Viper. He knows to come in. He's happy to sack the horsemen because as long as those archers are dead, then those archers can't kill his spearmen. And if the spearmen are alive, then the knights can't push in, and therefore the push is stalled. And speaking of push, look at this down here. Viper does indeed spot out the town center. GUA going to be dropping down an outpost, a rare sight that we do see. Now going to be moving over to the lumber camp as well. The boar has indeed been exhausted. He is absolutely clueless. Battering ram going to be making its way through. Oh my lord, look at this. GUA's got the walls up, but he's got the walls up without even realizing that there's a little bit of a hole, my friend, in your walls. Now the Viper going to be heading, Viper actually giving him the heads up and saying, hey, I know that you're here, get ready. And I guess you could argue a little bit of a misplay from Viper there, but at the same time, he could be looking to draw his enemy away from his own base. And that's exactly what GUA will probably look to do as soon as he sees this, now that the outpost is up, and he sees that this is going to be a pretty high-pressure attack. Horsemen are in, spearmen nowhere to be seen at the moment, but they will be moving down this hill. The second battering ram looking to try and stay alive, and he does a great job in just forcing the villagers to try and kill these battering rams. Gets a lot of idle time, and now going to be able to follow this up. So the army on the north side of the map for GUA just going to be hitting the tree line. We can see a whole bunch of villagers still sitting inside that outpost. Villager count for the Viper sitting at 46, GUA on 55. So GUA with a beautiful little villager lead at the moment. Obviously no Song Dynasty in yet for the Viper. He's holding on for dear life at the moment in his base. He's got a couple of spearmen here ready to go. He's going to be supervising them out, pumping them out, super boosting them, chrono boosting them. You guys know what I mean. But now that second town center is going to go down, so that's going to stall out GUA. We'll take a look over at his Golden Gate and see how his tickets are doing. His tickets are great. He'll be able to buy himself a couple more rounds of stone and get himself out another TC. Ideally, you'd even love to have a third TC in this matchup, just because there is always a risk of Song Dynasty in that outboom. In the event that you do make it to the late game, I kind of like the Rus in this matchup in the late game, but that's just me being a China lamer. Obviously, Rus, a pretty decent civ in the late game with Streltsy, with the cheaper siege. They got a lot of good things going for them, but once again, we see Viper population blocked for another time in this game. I think this might be the third time this game we have seen... Oh, excuse me, we have seen it. Horsemen now looking to try and get in on top of the archers. Spearmen just getting whittled down. For the most part, Viper's done a good job on the south side of the map. He's going to continue trying to move down with that progress. Looking to clean up the villagers here. Horsemen in tow now. Spearmen going to be coming back towards the base. Decent numbers here, but the town center should be able to defend this. Second TC is covered by the initial town center and the Barbican. So it's going to be tough to penetrate the defenses here, but we do have the battering ram now going to be coming down. At the same time, a little bit of a raid still hitting these berries, or hitting the villagers that were out near the berries. Attention might be turned towards the villagers on the woodline. Indeed it is. Now they're going to be forced to idle once again. He's got 7 vills inside the town center. We resume back on the other side. Everything's gone down. Jeez, in the blink of an eye, everything's just gone. It's vanished. Viper's just cleaned it up like the snake that he is. Beautiful little spot there from him. Just absolutely menacing and just really sticking. To be honest, I've been theorizing or theory crafting about this opening that Viper's actually doing. And I'm not talking about the Imperial officials. I don't want to focus on the minutiae. I don't want to focus on the little details. What I want to focus on is the concept behind this. Typically, as the Chinese, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be looking for that Song dynasty. What does that enable you to do? Well, it lets you get granaries, it lets you get Zhuge-Nu. Now, why would I ever want to make Zhuge-Nu up against knights? Why? I wouldn't. Exactly. So why do I need Song dynasty? Well, is the answer for my Imperial Academy, is it because I want my Barbican, or is it because I want the granaries? Well, you don't need those things until a little bit later. And we now see Viper going to be rushing down that landmark to hit Song dynasty. But you can see he's bought himself so much time here. He goes for the second TC, so he's still on an economic standing, but at the same time, he's just committing with the units that he's got access to. The Spearmen, the Horsemen. He obviously doesn't even go into Archers, because if he wants to go into Archers, he will go into Zhuge-Nu, and he will go into that Song dynasty. But he's just decided to avoid it. Now a beautiful little raid coming through. So super smart. I think this kind of opening can work very well against the French, against the Rus, because you don't need those Zhuge-Nu. You can just play it very happily here on Spearmen, on Horsemen, and then get your Song dynasty when you're comfortable. And obviously Viper now comfortable at about the 16-minute mark for that Song dynasty. He's going to be pumping out those villages non-stop. Villager count at the moment for the Viper sitting at 60. Now that includes his Imperial officials. Compared to the 43 of GUA, he's lost a lot of villagers here, GUA. Unfortunately, second TC is now up for the GOAT. We call him the GOAT back in Age of Empires 3, but I guess in Age of Empires 4, you're probably going to give that title over to somebody a bit different. You guys know who I'm thinking about. He might be a certain slippery individual, but indeed, he may even be in this game. Villagers now under attack. You can see Viper heading straight over here. A little bit of a counterattack with a scout. That ain't going to be the one to do it. Unfortunately, that scout going to be going down, losing its life. GUA heavily focused on this base. And look at the composition. This is exactly it, because what does the Rus want to do? What does the French player want to do? They want to make knights. They want to make archers. That's it. And we can see right now, double stable, double archery range here. There was a barracks. I think this was a barracks that was attempted to go down. It might have been a stable. Actually, I think this was just a stable. And they just want to go this composition. And Spearmen, as well as the Horseman, is just going to run absolute rings around it. Or at least, technically, it should run rings around it. It doesn't always, if your micro's not on point, or if your timing's a little bit off, or, you know, there's a lot of different factors that can play into it. But I think this opening from Viper's actually been pretty solid, as I mentioned, despite the smaller details. Granary transition now going to be coming in as well. Obviously, that Song dynasty coming in at about 16 minutes means that he's now unlocked the granaries. He did really pump that Imperial Academy down, so it makes me think he wanted the granaries to be unlocked. Granaries did actually get a buff up quite recently, but even before the granary was buffed, Viper was a granary enjoyer. He did very often go for the granary prior to that. He was one of the few people who did go for it. I remember watching DeMuslim streams. DeMuslim said, "No, I hate the granary. There's no way I would ever make it." And Viper was like, you know, I don't mind it. It's a cool, it's unique. It's, I think that was Viper. You know Viper, he's just so cool, calm, and collected. But another counterattack coming in, and these are the things that win games, all right? This is why Viper is the best. This is why you see him just winning constantly. It is these little counterattacks right here. He's just, you know, he knows that he's under pressure in his own base, but at the same time, he's just thinking about those counterattacks, and that's what does it. That's what separates the great from the GOAT. Age up now coming through for GUA. It's going to be an 18-minute age up. Going to be going with the Abbey of the Trinity. We'll take a look at where the relics are on the map. So we've got one nice and close in the back of the base. We've got another one that's been somewhat walled off. Another one that's been kind of walled off, but still, I mean, this is actually pretty difficult. How does GUA even grab this? He's got to really go around for this. Oh my lord, look at this. He's got to come in around. Oh my lord, I think you can get through there, but tell you what, he's kind of walled this position off for the Viper in a weird, wacky way. You can see a mill coming up now for the Viper. He's moving villagers over towards this position. I don't know whether those villagers continue. Anyway, we'll ride on board with Viper a little bit longer. Oh, these are the villagers here. Look at him go. He's trying to put a mill down on this position, and the villagers are like, all right, let's go. As they walk past the first berry patch, the second berry patch. Look at him go. We got ourselves a little journey. I think Viper's actually exploring right now. He was taking the horsemen. He's taking the villagers. He's got the caravan hooked up. He's ready to go. He doesn't even care that the range is only limited to 160 with a caravan towing. That's how EVs work these days. But now GUA going to be going for that third TC. Viper going to be catching him with his pants down. Villagers, unfortunately, in fact, I will say fortunately rather, do have textiles. Town center is going to go up. Third TC going to be exactly what he needs here. We hear those relics starting to be picked up. Villager count for GUA at 46 still. It feels like it's been 46 for the last 17 minutes. I say 17 minutes, probably the last 7 minutes, so probably a bit closer. We see the first relic now being pulled in. Viper looking very strong in the feudal age at this point in time. Aggressive everywhere, aggression non-stop. And now Spearmen going to be doing their classic little Spearman raid, something that you only ever really see at the top, the Spearman raid, the notorious Spearman raid comes through. It looks like he's able to take out, I don't see any villager bodies on the ground, but one of them does get down to 9 health. Down to the south though, Horsemen just now starting to siege down houses. Why not? I mean, at this point in time, why the heck not? 20-minute Castle Age now coming through from the Viper. It's going to be the Astronomical Clock Tower. It's a Trebuchet. Of all things, we see a Trebuchet starting to come out from the Viper. 28 idols at the moment. Probably going to be scratching his head about those villagers that moved across the map, and a keep is going to be coming down. So he's going to be thinking about doing that keep combination. And we can see the Warrior Monk. I suspect that Warrior Monk was coming for here, but unfortunately this wall kind of stops it. Horsemen now under attack. Knight going to be turning their attention towards it, and we see Horse Archers coming out. I've mentioned this before, but I will say it once again. If ever I see a Rus player make Horse Archers in this matchup, I love it. I just love it. Horse Archers get absolutely destroyed by Chukunu. They're expensive units, and they just get absolutely melted. I think, you know, in a one-on-one, the Chukunu might actually beat the Horse Archer. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double-check that. Yeah, the Chukunu is incredibly good against them just because of the low armor as well as the low health pool that they've got. So if you ever have an opportunity to attack, move a whole bunch of Horse Archers, yeah, it's not pretty for the Horse Archers. Viper coming through. One villager does go down. Another Spearman raid for the second time in the second minute on this position out here over on the west side. No wooden fortress, and the consequence of that means that these villagers are going to be under just perpetual threat, I guess is probably the best way to say it. Warrior Monk moving in. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Go on, GUA. Do it. I know you want to do it. If GUA was thinking about it, what he would do, Warrior Monk to take these two out, you trigger the Wololo here and here to confuse the Viper. And then you Wololo on the gold mine, and you just hope that he doesn't really hear it or know it or think about it, or he's just kind of overwhelmed. He's like, where's those Wololos? Where are those Wololos? And then the third one goes off. He's like, where's the Wololos? He's not thinking. And then you take the 14 Vil and you buy a whole bunch of stone. You can't really buy that much stone, you guys. And then you drop a keep. That's how at least that's how I saw Salami do it. Horse Archers now coming out together with the Knights. Going to be looking to pick up a couple of horsemen. Should be successful. Also, we got a little bit of a run by in the center of the map. Chukunu, nowhere to be seen just yet. We'll ride on board with the Viper and see what his unit numbers are looking like at the moment. Palace Guards together with Horsemen. A beautiful composition. It's also got the Spearmen out as well. Veterancy upgrade has come through. Now see decarbonization, and Viper going to be looking to pick up the stone outcropping on the front side here. A couple of Lancers also coming in. Viper might be actually in a position to finish this one off. Things not looking good right now for GUA. It's been tough for him, honestly, ever since this greedy little opening. And see, this was it, right? All of this ruins the tempo. The Viper comes out here with 4 Spearmen and just prevents those villagers from gathering up the food, and it ruins the tempo. And now GUA is kind of off balance a little bit. Trebuchet coming out for the Viper in that color yellow. If you're lucky, you'll get to see it flash its RGBs. There we go. Whenever I move the camera, I think it gets its flashy RGBs going on. But Spearman now going to be looking to try and clean up all of these cavalry units, looking pretty decent at this point in time. Micro coming in handy for GUA, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Now we got the Warrior Monk going to be coming through. Provides that little aura in the area. You can see it, +1 armor, +2 damage. Wololo going to be coming out here. Palace Guard's going to be trying their best to take this down. Spearman going to be coming in to help, and indeed that Warrior Monk is going to be going down. GUA stuck in, I guess the best way to probably say it is he's stuck up shit creek without a paddle. And that's not a place that you really want to be without a paddle. I've been there before myself, and yeah, it's not fun. It is not fun. GUA really suffering at this point in the town center. Gonna get focused, and Viper is gonna be coming out victorious, ladies and gentlemen. It is great. It is a pleasure to see Viper victorious with with China. What an absolute pleasure. Fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. Make sure you check out the Viper. Make sure you check out GUA. I'll leave links in the description to where you can catch these guys live over on Twitch or on YouTube like the Viper.